It's the 10 to 1 podcast with your host, Brad Oman, featuring Ben Conowitz and Nate Laux. And here's the podcast.
Hi, boys.
We are back.
SNL.
Within a couple weeks.
Dual Lipa.
Dual Lipa.
I'm like a dual Lipa with you,
Because,
too.
you know, host, musical guest, get it? Dual roles. That's what I was doing, guys. I was having play on the English language.
I find that the best jokes are the ones that you have to explain.
Especially from Ben.
I didn't know that Dua Lipa was British.
Did you not? I was wondering this because it's been well documented on our other podcasts.
She's actually Albanian.
But
why
British
did she say
also.
British?
She's also British.
Yeah, she's also
Stop
British,
it.
but she is from
Did she
Albany.
say that? Albany, New York. Did she mention that, or I thought she only in the monologue had said she was British? And
Okay,
honestly, that's what I'm going off of.
She is British. She's British.
She is British.
Her family heritage is Albanian.
Yeah.
But we've discussed this on Go Fix Yourself quite a bit. That Brad and I introduced Brad to Dua Lipa.
Oh my God!
And both of us have a crush a little bit on her. But I was wondering about how you would think about her because you don't like the British accent.
No, it's terrible.
Hey, do you have a slug of me biscuits?
She has the most proper.
It's wonderful.
Sexy.
It's so
British
wonderful.
accent. Yeah.
All I hear is,
You want to put a broomstick on my roofkins?
If you haven't picked up on this by now, we're talking about the latest episode of Saturday Night Live that was hosted by Dua Lipa, who served double duty also as the musical guest.
The third time she's been a musical guest.
Yes, but this is the first time that she has hosted along with that responsibility. And Dua Lipa is not necessarily what you would call an actress. First and foremost, she's a recording artist. Her two appearances actually were very recent. One was a cameo in Barbie as one of the mermaid Barbies, and then she also had a supporting role in Argyle. But otherwise, she hasn't really done any acting. So
Does she have something coming up or?
I'm not sure if she says anything acting wise because I know she's been working on an album. I think she's going on tour soon too. So
I'm at a significant disadvantage. Brad is in the entertainment world, so he does just by default pick up more things about that kind of stuff. I don't know that you actually listen to her music or like her contemporaries. I don't know if that's your genre or whatever.
So,
but you
mean, every now and then
because of your job, and you have a girlfriend, Brittany, who probably listens to some of that.
Let me be clear though. I don't know as much about Dua Lipa as I do because of my job. It's because I am very much attracted to who she is and what she represents.
That's not my point. And Nate, you have a 16-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
So my assumption is you know more about pop stars.
No, I do love that you assume that.
No,
yes, I will blame my daughter for why I know about Dua Lipa.
Because you're also not a music person.
No, let me finish. I know nothing about music. I'm stuck in 1991 with Pearl Jam. That's really where I'm at with this. But I don't care to learn anything about any of these people. So I am so confused all the time is this...
This isn't the only person you've been confused about.
They mentioned Jojo Siwa.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, is that like Jodeci? Like, I don't Anyway. I thought that was a contemporary with like Ariana Grande and Dua Lipa and Sia. Like I look at those as and I find out she's a Disney actress.
Yeah, JoJo Sia was like basically like the next generation young down because she was on Disney and like she kind of
she's a whole different
20.
thing.
I looked up, she's 20. After seeing the Weekend Update bit, I looked it up.
Yeah,
she's a whole different thing though.
Yeah, and so that means she's probably what 7 to 10 years younger than Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa's 28.
Yeah.
So I just don't know. Are those type of people considered contemporaries?
No. And kind of. JoJo Siwa is definitely from like they said, the next generation behind. Okay. So like she's not really entirely with them because the kind of music she was doing initially was a lot more like, I don't know, like kind of kid friendly pop.
Okay. So yeah, I know nothing about her outside of that she's a famous singer, right? Yeah. I know that. Couldn't really name her songs. I had to look up the meme and I'm like, oh, okay, I get what that is. That being said, she wasn't my issue with this episode at all.
No,
she was fantastic as far as what she was expected to do.
Yeah, we'll get to that as we break down. But
I do have a couple questions for you, real quick.
Yeah, I'm not attracted to Dua Lipa.
Yeah, I know. It's.
Are you really not though?
I'm just not.
Oh my God. We'll talk about when we get to the monologue.
So which cast member? Because I like to ask you guys.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah, this is like
which cast member did not appear in a sketch in this episode of Saturday Night Live?
Chloe Trost.
That's my guess as well.
Correct. Yeah, she didn't. She was in the Good Nights, but she did not.
And that's why I remember that, because I saw her and I was like, oh, she wasn't in any of the sketches.
And then Michael Che reached his 200th episode on Saturday Night Live, and this one surprised me. Devin Walker reached his 100th episode.
Oh, wow. It doesn't feel like he's been around.
No. In this episode, it was 95, 96, 97, 98. Oh, I thought you were talking about sketches. He was in everything tonight. Or last night.
He was in a lot.
2 nights ago. Jesus.
All right, let's move into this. Community Affairs Cold Open, written by Alex English. Parents of college students, including Kenan Thompson, Mikey Day, and Heidi Gardner, are interviewed on their perspectives regarding student protests and arrests on college campuses. Obviously, this is a contemporary news story, but it's not necessarily. They didn't take the super political angle of this. They took this angle as a parent of one of the students protesting, Kenan Thompson being the parent that wasn't uncomfortable or essentially said, no, my student's not doing this.
Right.
What did you guys think of this? Did you like this take of...
Well, before we get into that, where do you guys stand on Hamas?
And go first.
No, if you're not gonna directly touch the Israel-Palestine conflict, this is a great way to
creative way to do it,
a bit
right?
about it. Yeah, because it's you're mixing something that's current affairs without necessarily being explicitly like politically satirical. You're using a great point of racial humor to bring it to life, by having Kenan Thompson play like a black parent who is like, oh no, they're gonna be in class. I'm not working all these jobs, so all that. Kenan was so great in the sketch, and it was refreshing to see have them do a sketch that was based from something in the headlines and not have it feel like garbage. Like they did it went about it in an interesting way that worked for like that kind of comedy. So
I thought the timing was a little bit off on this one. Like
The camera cuts were a little weird.
And I agree with you. I thought it was creative enough to be they like to make cold opens very contemporary. And so it was creative enough to take a contemporary news story and put a spin on it.
I also think that
didn't get enough laughs for me.
Yeah, I think that in order to do that sketch the best way possible, it's later on in the show where you could escalate a lot more.
I
They're
agree.
not going to do that in the cold open, but I get it. Because you're handcuffing this a bit because of that, I give it a pass because it was definitely clever. And I just am so thankful it wasn't a straight political cold open. We've talked about this 1,000 times. And Kenan was very special in this one. He sold it really well.
yeah, he did what Kenan does with these kind of sketches. But I do agree, it definitely felt like it should have aired somewhere like in the middle of the episode, and they should.
But I'll take it. But again, guys, I'll take it.
Did you guys notice the font choice for the show?
Was it Papyrus?
No, it's the Family Matters theme.
Wait,
What?
the font?
Yeah, the font is from Family Matters.
Oh,
from the
really?
opening,
Wow.
from the opening credits. Yeah.
Didn't know. Sorry, Brad. I missed that one.
I'm sorry that you.
Hey, did you notice that? Yeah, I don't know that anybody did. Yeah, I think you were the only one.
I don't think so. I bet you if you look it up, you'll see that a lot of people noticed it.
Well, people online have time.
What do you think I'm doing?
All right, Dua Lipa monologue. First time host Dua Lipa celebrates.
Do you guys think Dua Lipa do a good job?
First time host Dua Lipa celebrates her new album Radical Optimism by taking some questions from the audience and introducing her new choreographer. What did you guys think of this? Is it hard for you to have an unbiased opinion of Dua Lipa, Brad?
When it comes to looks, absolutely. I can't help but judge with my eyes and my heart. What can I say? My heart was in it.
Oh, Brad, I love you.
I mean, like, first of all, she comes out and she does like a little bit of an Angelina Jolie leg thing, like from the Oscars when she wore that high cut dress and like just like put her leg out. As soon as she did that, I was like, all right, here we go. It's gonna be a good night.
All right, calm down. We don't need to hear the rest of that story.
Well, she's wearing tights too, which I am just like thrilled about. But no,
he did the same thing when Woody Harrelson hosted, just fawning over it.
What can I say? The man looks good in tights,
and he had this slit dress on.
Mm-hmm. But no, so she comes out. She's very charming. Obviously, she has a great British accent, and I think that what I appreciate is that she was willing to poke fun at herself, like knowing like the jokes that exist about her as a famously bad dancer at one point. And she,
is that right?
Yeah, there's a whole when she said like I gave you
Did
the
you
best.
look up the meme?
Yeah, when she said I gave you the best meme ever, like it's based on her dancing.
Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't look it up.
Yeah, so she just says that thing where she just kind of switches her legs a little bit and then just moves from side to side. It's nothing.
Yeah. So yeah, I did like that. It did feel almost a little bit defensive, and I which was felt kind of odd, but I guess since it's her first time ever doing anything like that.
What do you mean defensive?
It felt like she was while she was making jokes about it, she was also trying to.
Gave you the best meme in the world.
Yeah, trying to come at me and just being very but I did appreciate it because it's her first time probably doing anything like this where she gets a chance,
Yeah, it didn't hit me like that, honestly. I just thought that's a decently clever way to do that.
Yeah.
No, it was fine. It's the question and answer from the audience is the easy one, right?
That's always
in the pantheon of openings, if you got a softball that you want to throw to a host, that's what you do. So clearly they thought, hey, she needs that help or whatever. They started her off slow. She crushed it. She did just fine.
I think she did fine. I don't know if she crushed it, but
no, I mean what she was expected to do was do that, right?
It's just the whole here's an optimistic view of this. It was fine.
Although I would have appreciated if they kept the Christy Gnome joke to just the one in the monologue.
I mean, they hammered it home quite a few times here. I don't know that we needed that either, but
as Christy Gnome fans, though, I'm sure.
I mean, I just hate dogs. I'm a bad person.
Ben would have put that puppy down, though.
No, 12 months, not 14. You don't wait 14. Ew.
All right, moving on. Young Spicy, written by Devin Walker, Gary Richardson, and Will Steven. Two Women, played by Dua Lipa and Ego Wodum, help a rapper, played by Devin Walker, with his new producer tag. This was a repeat sketch, a recurring sketch from the April 15th episode of 2023 with Ana de Armas. So they brought this back. As you said, Devin Walker had a big night tonight. I felt like he was in a decent amount of sketches for Devin Walker.
Meaning more than one, and that's the main thing to say. He was in like 4 tonight.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just as a background person.
And this was I think
this is a main thing for him.
His first repeat sketch, right? His first recurring. What did you think of this one, Ben?
So I love that it's a recurring sketch because I know what I'm in for. So I'm just waiting for what are they going to say now?
Yep,
that becomes about that. I of course, Ego Wodum and Dua Lipa in this sketch. They do very well. They give them funny things to say. They say them and they get laughs. I laughed. Could it have been more crazy? Sure. I wish though that when they cut to Kenan Thompson and he's got that stupid producer bit where he's like, well, I got about 90 more seconds that I can put changing the meter. I wish they would do more with that aspect of this. There, for some reason, in my head, I was thinking along the lines of it should be something bombastic, 90 more seconds, and then I got to meet my parole officer outside. It's or anything. I've got to catch a flight to Dubai, or just something outlandish, and then but it never gets addressed.
It was interesting because I felt the same way. I thought that Kenan was underutilized in this sketch, but
changing the meter, that's the line, really. Okay,
what do you think, Brad?
I honestly, I think that so we talked about with community fairs, the cold open, and then now with this too, there's something that feels just a little bit off. And I kind of felt like that way throughout the entire episode where the sketches were right down the middle, average stuff, but something about them felt slightly off kilter, whether it was the timing or just the pacing of the punchlines and whatnot. And it didn't make for overall a bad episode for me, but it was something that when I thought about it when I was working on my review, I was just everything just something wasn't it didn't allow the sketch to fully succeed, but it wasn't downright terrible.
I watched
either.
it twice to just see what that was, right? So I watched it the first time and something was off. I rewatched it again today, and I think from my perspective, it's not that Dua Lipa is a bad host whatsoever, and a lot of the things that happened were not her fault. But because this is her first time, her delay in responding and setting people up, that hurt the entire show.
Maybe, but even the pre-recorded sketches, they also felt like they were still just cruising right down safe lanes.
We can talk about that. I've got an opinion.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, moving on. The Anomalous Man, written by Sarah Sherman, Dan Bull, and Asha Ward. A woman, played by Dua Lipa's relationship with a writer, played by Sarah Sherman, takes an unexpected turn. talk about slow sketches to develop.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, see this is every now and then, like there are sketches where a long lead when like you're not meant to be laughing, it's a setup for what's going to be the inevitable reveal for the punchline. They can work out very well. In this case, yeah, the punchline didn't feel like I was like, this is what we were waiting for.
And so, okay, it doesn't work in my opinion for just two very simple reasons, right? Number one, it's so out of left field that there would be, because they say that the year is 18,
right? Exactly.
So it's so out of left field that technology. So that's just a disjoiner right there. But then secondly, even if it was a version of that was technologically appropriate, that's your payoff. Is
right?
It's other. So it's a shit payoff, and then it's also throwing that weird tech aspect. What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah,
I loved it up until then. I was in. I was watching the whole thing. I was like, what are they going to build to? And then it sputters out.
No, it was also almost like the directing and everything was like almost too good. I'm like, am I kind of watching a film here? Right? Like,
but I didn't mind it though. But I would have preferred.
There's got to be a payoff, man.
Yeah, and the payoff could have easily been something that like was the same thing but worked of that time, and that almost would have made it funnier. Like, imagine if Sarah Sherman's character was like jerking off to like a letter with like old timey pictures in them, you know?
Or just hand drawn, or like if you're getting caught with text, but it's just caught with like notes attached to a bunch of pigeons.
Yeah.
Like what? How is that?
I don't know why you don't do it
time appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
I really want to. Were they at the table saying they were going to do it that way? But then somebody got really high and was like, "Oh, but what if it was still a phone?" I just don't get that.
I also was taken out of it even just before that too, because there was a shot of Dua Lipa in bed and they did not cover up her wrist tattoos, and I was just like,
"Well, there's
that's not hard.
Nitpicking again.
That's not hard to cover." Those
Nate, what'd you think?
Yeah, it was a lot of waiting, thinking that because Sarah Sherman pretty much, I think she does a great job writing sketches. Her ideas are pretty good, but this was just a rare miss for her. I just didn't think that this was great.
I don't even know that it's like entirely her fault either, because the lead could have been a lot less and it might have landed.
She
better.
wrote this. She wrote the sketch. So what I'm saying is like,
yeah.
So
on that part,
if she's writing the sketch, she's maybe not gonna. Either she's taking bad notes. Well, hey, we should just really draw this out, even though on the page it's written as a shorter thing. We could make this long. You know, just because you're credited with writing something doesn't mean that it
is clever to say.
It's all your baby.
Here's a guy that has not gotten any attention, and he gets attention, and all of a sudden he's now trying to talk to other girls, right? Because he got that one attention. But I like your idea though there to say let's make this contextually what it might look like in that.
Instead of missing on two levels, it just works on two levels.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, whatever.
I like that idea better, actually.
But yeah, the makeup department is incredible. The eye on the back.
It looked great. The direction was great. Like,
would you like to know why?
Because it was Stan Winston.
No, Rick Baker.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Who is the Stan Winston of makeup effects.
Yeah. I did not know that Rick Baker did that.
Yeah, because Sarah Sherman posted a picture with,
that's awesome.
with him from behind the scenes.
Is that not a Saturday Night Live guy?
No.
Oh, gosh, no. He's very famous.
He's like the person who did like Terminator with Stan Winston, and also did American Werewolf in London, and like just like Thriller.
To get him on Saturday Night Live was a big deal.
Oh, yeah. He's a legend.
All right, moving on. Good Morning Greenville, written by Colin Jost and Brian Tucker. Morning news hosts, played by Dua Lipa, Heidi Gardner, Mikey Day, discuss a controversial national feud. This also has Devin Walker in it. I liked Mikey Day in this sketch a lot because he was...
I love it when they do these small town opening shows. Like there's always, honestly, if you're doing batting averages, whenever I see that kind of lead in, I normally enjoy the sketch.
Yeah, as somebody that lives near South Bend, Indiana, where it's a small city that has a small newscast, these kind of characters, I don't know if they have them in big cities. Like when we watch WGN, because we're also by Chicago, I don't see those types of characters. They're more national type of characters.
Yeah, if you saw Maureen McFadden at the grocery store, though, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because you're watching WSB TV or whatever out of South Bend. But
no, that was Cindy Ward.
So sorry. So I like this sketch.
No, wait, do more subsidiary jokes.
Oh, so there's a pinhook.
There you go.
So there's a the escalation is very good here in this sketch. I do like that it starts off being very silly, and I thought again I got caught up in really that's what the joke's gonna be, is just cutting to Devin Walker and making that the thing. But that was the only part of it.
Yeah,
Devin Walker playing the role of Kenan Thompson.
Yeah. really hamming it up, having a good time with that. Oh, please let's just clock out and go home. But the escalation becomes more than just the interaction with the weather guy. It really does build. I liked it.
So I liked the Devin Walker bits. I appreciated that part of the sketch, but this kind of felt like a somewhat desperate way to like do something about the Kendrick Lamar Drake, thing, like without doing something maybe more directly. It just felt like they wanted to be part of the conversation because that's what everybody was talking about.
It's such an online thing, and
I disagree with that. I think that they could have used anything, and it's more of the sketch about how these people are just idiot racist.
No, of course, but that's what I mean though, is because they did focus it on this, it made it feel desperate, where I would have rather them did anything else except for comment.
It's a way of being like, I'm gonna mispronounce Tupac Shakur. Like they needed a jumping off point. That's all. I didn't mind that.
I disagree.
What does it need to be? Tupac Shakur rose from the grave?
No, just don't.
Something momentous?
No, it just didn't need to be and like about something that was currently happening in pop culture for it to be like. I felt like they wanted to do something that was about Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
You think they came with that first?
Yes.
Let's write something about Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
That's what it felt like to me.
This is what we're going to write about him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me.
Fair enough.
You're wrong. I don't dislike these types of sketches, like you said, Ben.
Yeah, I don't either.
Where they're doing small
Shut up,
city.
ugly.
And I thought particularly Heidi Gardner and Mikey Day were
fantastic. They made me laugh out loud. And of course,
I wonder if Heidi broke something in herself, because she had a little moment of breaking in this one too.
So when they start holding up the fake whatever they call those masks with the mouths that move, whatever. I mean, what do you really call those things? Seriously, what do you call them?
I don't know.
Exactly. Like, so I'm like, it's not necessarily it's not a Muppet.
Like a puppet. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a face mask that moves. The lips move. So anyway,
come up with a name for it.
I was going to say a Muppet, a mask puppet, but that's already something else. That's so dumb. Anyway, I don't even remember what I was going to say about that. Oh yeah, when they
call it a pask.
When they got to that point in the show and they have to cut for technical difficulties because somebody's going to say a racist thing or whatever. That reminds me of like Jingleheimer Junction.
Oh God, Jingleheimer Junction,
which is the all-time version of this. But I still love seeing that kind of stuff because that's what SNL is to me. Is taking it's the new version of that again, and I'm fine with it.
I hadn't seen Jingleheimer Junction in a while, and it popped up on the Peacock SNL channel when I just had it on in the background one day. I love that sketch so much.
So good.
And honestly, it doesn't feel like the kind of sketch that like would be one that you would remember, but I love that.
Well, they do play it a lot on clips and whatever. But yeah, if you haven't seen Jingleheimer Junction featuring Sherry O'Terry, Tim Meadows, Will Ferrell, and Chris Parnell.
No, it's Will Ferrell, Anna Gasteyer, Cameron Diaz, Tim Meadows, and Horatio Sands.
There.
All right, moving on. Sunny Angel, written by Bowen Yang, Celeste Neame, and Allison Gates. A man, played by Marcelo Hernandez, fights with a Sunny Angel doll, played by Bowen Yang, over a woman, played by Dua Lipa.
Now, this felt absolutely shoehorned.
Yeah.
This is the one that I was like, why are you guys doing a Challengers thing?
This felt like someone had a sketch waiting that they wanted to do with these Sunny Angel dolls, which, by the way, are very real.
Oh, boy. I did not know that. That's the one thing I didn't look up.
I probably should have known that before. Maybe it would have made more sense.
I looked up JoJo Siwa, but I did not look up that fact.
I looked that up after the sketch. I was like, wait a minute. Those have to be real. Why would anyone make that up?
Well, yeah, and also, why task the costume department with that? Or the set building department with that?
So this felt like someone had an idea of something to do with these Sunny Angel dolls, and then they were like, wait a minute. Challengers just came out. I can make it a threesome thing.
That is the dumbest idea.
It felt like such a weird way to riff on the movie.
I did love Bowen Yang's tiny penis. I did.
No, seeing him in that costume was amusing.
Him biting the churro. I mean, these are funny bits.
And
in the thing.
Have you seen Challengers?
No.
And so it's a specific reference to Challengers.
Oh, I just think it's so funny. He broke a little bit eating the churro. That was funny to me.
But no, there's a
churro scene.
Yes, between the two male leads. And so it's
wait, what?
Yep.
Is it like okay? Never mind.
Yep. it's not like a sexy sex scene, but it's like an implied sexy scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just thought it was weird. Like it just didn't.
It didn't work
catch
for me.
It didn't
Yeah.
catch me.
It didn't. I feel like this was close to being like one of the worst of the night.
Yeah.
I disagree with that one because Bone Yang was hilarious.
Bone Yang's good, but there was a lot of bad for the night.
What?
Wait, what was it?
There's a lot of bad for the night.
There was a lot of bad for the night.
A lot
guys.
of bad nights.
There were not a lot of great sketches, guys.
Penne alla vodka, a tribute to the one thing that's been there for us all during every hardship and celebration, starring Dua Lipa, Kenan Thompson, Mikey Day, Ego Wodum, Chloe Feynman, Andrew Dismukes, James Austin Johnson, and Molly Carney. I actually like this quite a bit, only because
I bet you've seen Penne alla vodka at every event that you have at the church.
more
I
Penne alla
have
vodka
done so many
than anyone.
funerals and weddings as a pastor.
Graduation parties.
Oh yeah,
Just
that has
anything.
this and their comments on it is so right. It's fine.
It's not. Nobody ever says like that's the best Penne alla vodka I've
but
ever
when I
had.
see it, I'm like,
But they're like, oh, I'm putting that on my plate.
yeah, and I'm like, it has no taste, but it's fine.
But yeah, it's fine. There's that's got it. Yep, no, that's Penne alla vodka. No,
Yeah.
they're spot on with it. I don't know that
Like
this needed.
somebody went to an event
a
and
whole
saw
song.
this,
Yeah.
and like this is gonna be funny.
No, and
I thought it was.
It felt kind of like a classic SNL commercial
Yes.
parody in that way. Like it felt like something.
I didn't really laugh.
Oh, I laughed quite a bit at this because I've been there.
Well, that's your
it's my life.
I give you that.
I wasn't laughing out loud necessarily, but I appreciate the concept and the execution. And this is kind of another, to me, an example of just how everything was kind of right down the middle, where like this is not a hilarious sketch where you're like guffawing at it, but like you're basically mildly amused throughout the entire thing. And that's kind of how I felt about the entire episode.
Because it is really, really weird for you to sit there and think like, oh yeah, Penne alla vodka, yeah, that. Yep. No, but yep. It's the same joke. You know?
But
there's no escalation.
But I do like the specificity of the things that they say about it, because that did really hit home.
But that's a Weekend Update joke to me. Like this whole thing could have been a Weekend Update joke.
No, it works better.
There was a couple decent, like there was a couple each character that said something. There was a couple there that I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
too. Like,
I feel like it works really well as a commercial parody. It's just not like a ruckusly hilarious sketch.
Yep.
Okay, well, you guys are wrong.
No, out of all of the sketches tonight, this is actually one of my favorites. So, Weekend Update: Christine Nome shot her dog. Trump complains about trial. Colin Jost and Michael Che, anchors of Weekend Update, discuss the most significant news of the week, including President Biden's remark that Japan is xenophobic. Ben, will you do our listeners a favor and please
do your
explain
strongest Japanese
the
impression?
The Bradometer is a metric that we use to describe the relationship with Colin Jost and Michael Che throughout the evening's Weekend Update segment of Saturday Night Live. Sometimes it does have to do with how strong joke-wise the Weekend Update is, but mainly it's about the loving affection interaction between two grown men sitting behind a desk. And Brad is always wrong.
And we've
Brad
noticed.
can't be wrong because he's the meter.
Did you
No, but we've noticed lately that the Bradometer needs a little bit of tweaking.
And I'll prove it again right now. You know why? 91.
No.
91.
No.
They physically talked to each other 3 times, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know. 91's high.
They 3 times, and then also they had a joke swap joke.
Yeah, but they didn't call it a joke swap.
No, they don't do that anymore. They just do the jokes.
And Michael Che was eating it alive, but Brad doesn't include that in the Bradometer. Like he didn't include Michael Che. Like,
But they physically looked at each other, referenced each other, talked to each other like 3 times. Like it's got to be 91. I don't. You make up your own thing.
82.
Is he?
What
92.
see?
Ben nailed it. It really, they did have direct interaction. You miscalculated. Che eating it became part of it because they interacted because of that.
No, he's eaten it before, and you're like, that doesn't matter.
No, yeah, but they interacted because of it, and so it enhanced it. And yes, this was
this is dumb.
This as I was watching this, I was like, oh man, this is gonna rank high on the
Bradometer.
Bradometer.
Should come out of the podcast. This is dumb.
No, it's my favorite segment of the show now. Because I was closest without going over.
He was as close as he could possibly get without going over.
In your head, did you inflate that number a little bit?
No.
Did you think it was 92?
No, 91.
Or 91?
I said 91, yeah.
You thought it
Because last time I guessed 90 and it was wrong, and so this time I thought it was even better. That's why I did 91.
See?
And Brad, what did you do last week? Like 80?
Yeah, or 75.
Yeah.
No, it was 80. I think.
Listeners, you remember.
I know. I don't.
It was
remember.
super low.
Joe,
though,
do the
compared-
tally, please. What's next?
All right. What did you guys think of Weekend Update?
Oh,
Were there
yeah,
any
just
jokes
the
in there?
jokes.
No. It was. I liked the Che's bombing. Because,
yeah.
because like they were the jokes that should bomb, and like I love his reaction.
He fucked up kind of the delivery on one of them.
That's true.
And that really
Che
heightened
was-
though the rest of the bombing though.
Yeah.
Che on his 200th episode was, I think, the best thing about Weekend Update.
Yeah,
He
he's
was
great. He's great.
All right. Moving on to Weekend Update bits. Weekend Update bit. Christy Gnome's other dog defends his owner. Christy Gnome's other dog, played by Marcelo Hernandez, stops by Weekend Update to defend his owner. Now, Brad, what do you think of Christy Gnome?
I like that she stands up for what she believes in. I think that she has a real firm hand when it comes to dealing with animal control, and I think that she might have what it takes to be the next vice presidential candidate.
Oh my god.
Is that not crazy, that story?
Yeah,
She's
nuts.
awful, and the fact that just how she's recovered from it or hasn't recovered from it is wild to me.
And she's not really backing down from it. She's like, yeah, no,
has she
doubled?
doubled down, or but she's just not backing down from
No,
it?
no, like it's a little column A, little column B.
Like, yeah, well, that's what farm life was, and we just was that her reaction?
I mean, essentially, yeah. Like
I mean, she did take it out of, like, the publisher is taking it out. No, that's the North Korea thing. She lied about North Korea.
yeah.
She said she met Kim Jong-un and she didn't.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And
biography.
when she was questioned for it on TV, she's like, "I'm not getting the specifics about who I've met," and like, but obviously I've met with world leaders.
Oh wow.
She's just, I mean, she's exactly who the Republican Party wants.
Well, it's the
but-
level of Sarah Palin. It's like, what's your favorite book? Oh, I like books. Well, what are you reading magazine wise? Like, what's a magazine? I read magazines.
But no, she switched gears once when she was talking about the dog thing, about how like started criticizing the dogs in Biden's dogs because the ones that have been biting,
Right.
people, and she basically came out and said those dogs should have been put down as well.
She
So
leans
she's
into
doubling
like
down,
the
yeah.
killing the dog.
Yeah.
That's the thing she's leaning into. I'm a dog killer.
Hey, I was misquoted. I killed the dog. It said we. There's no we in
No,
me.
but here's the crazy thing: is you're gonna have like half of America is like, I think we should kill more dogs.
I mean, the crazy part is it's like it's not 50%. It's 10%, but they're real loud.
And there's probably a lot of people who are like, "Yeah, I killed my dog. What of it?"
Some of our listeners.
So what about Marcelo Hernandez doing this? What did you think of him?
He did the best he could with what he was given. It felt like something that like Marcelo had to do. Like, all right, fine, I'll go do this.
Somebody's got to play this. Marcelo, you're not in anything
Yeah,
else.
exactly. And it just didn't really feel like it did anything more that we needed to do about the topic. And
There wasn't an angle in here. If you would have told me, hey, we're going to do a Weekend Update bit with Chrissy Nome and the dog thing, this is what I would think.
Yeah.
Which isn't that funny.
Yeah,
right?
especially because we had so many news cycles between when it happened and when we finally got to SNL, and like I feel like they should have realized that like we're not going to be able to hit this and have it still be fresh.
Or, pick one.
Yeah.
You had 3. Oof. Oof. Get it?
All right, moving on.
The dog. Okay.
Weekend Update bit. Jojo Siwa on gay pop and her bad girl era. Written by Chloe Feynman, Jake Norwin, Mike DeCenzo, and Jimmy Fowley. Jojo Siwa, played by Chloe Feynman, stops by Weekend Update to discuss her name and edgy look. Ben, did you like Chloe Feynman's impression of Jojo Siwa?
Okay. My question to you, Nate, is that what she sounds like?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Okay, Brad. So that's what
She does,
Jojo
yes.
said. So she still has kind of a.
Oh no,
A childlike
No, sorry, the R thing is not part of it. No, I thought you.
Oh yeah,
the voice. No,
because she was like, I really don't know.
no, the voice.
She talks like that.
No, the R thing is not a real thing. Like she doesn't have no.
But the early impression that Chloe Feynman was doing.
yeah, the voice. She's matching her voice very well. But
Gotcha.
but the R
Chloe
thing
Feynman's
is,
a
more of a
very skilled impression.
More of a cadence
yeah.
and delivery. Okay.
And her tone of voice is like just slightly lower than
Gotcha.
like a normal girl's register.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, knowing that I know this is a real person or whatever, fine, I guess.
It wasn't great. But
Yeah, I thought it was a good impression. I don't think it was worth doing a whole bit on like this. Like I
do
feel
people
like,
care about Jojo Siwa?
apparently
Yeah.
because they were all talking about her new look.
do SNL viewers care about JoJo?
They're trying to make him. This is like the 4th reference to JoJo Siwa they've made in 4
I mean,
years.
I
didn't get it.
A lot of the audience is aware of JoJo Siwa and like.
I mean,
am now.
I'm aware of her
I am now
existence,
because of Saturday Night
but
Live.
I know
Thank you.
nothing about
Okay,
her.
yeah, but like there was like 1 or 2 times earlier this year when like you guys had no idea who the musical guest was. Or,
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, don't say you guys.
So that's what
I
I'm saying.
always know the musical
Wow.
guys because I'm a musician.
you are
and,
you are pretty good.
You're
at
a
that.
musician?
I am.
Oh.
All right. Weekend update.
What do you
bit.
play?
I'm a drummer.
Oh.
The ladies.
Hello. Weekend update bit. A man who did too much press. One of the most confusing weekend update things. Jerry Seinfeld, of all people, a man who did too much press, stops by a weekend update to discuss his recent press tour and Brad being too woke.
This is the weirdest thing to me. Honestly. So you got Jerry Seinfeld. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to address it. He's going to say something where it's like,
Right, you would think.
I was taken out of context or just make it, or like for comedy's sake, triple down on it. That which would have been even better.
Yep.
Like go like, yeah, you liberals don't get it. I would have loved to see
Yeah.
that. Instead, we get a bit.
What? And not a very good bit
Not
either.
a good bit either.
And a bit that is loses any sense of real humor that there is, because I would have thought he would have done something about like playing up the tropes of things that happen when you're on a press tour and stuff like that, you know, leaning into that aspect of it. But then it literally turned into him actually just promoting Unfrosted on Netflix. Like that's what that last line is. It's like it's meant to be a punchline.
What was the line?
It was him like just doing a very brief log line of Unfrosted, like of saying and saying like that it's available to watch. Like it was.
Oh, I don't think I saw that version then. I saw it live. Did you watch it
What?
live?
No,
yeah, I watched the
that's
recording.
the
That's what
version.
happens.
Are you sure?
Did you watch SNL?
Yeah. Did you
I
watch
watched
the?
it twice.
Did you watch the?
So what's the line from the movie says?
I don't know what the exact thing he said, but the very last line he says is like it's to sound like he's still promoting the movie.
Oh, I guess maybe I just misunderstood what you said. Sorry.
We now we've talked about this. We have to bring it up, so I'm going to put it on the. Seinfeld. Yeah, you'll find it.
You think this is how I want it, Pippa? I think we've lost him. Oh, Pippa. I love your show. Are you kidding? All the time. That's correct, Pippa. Unfrosted is a delightful, crazy tale with some of your favorite funny people as you've never seen them before. The man who did too much press, ladies and gentlemen.
See?
I mean, yeah, no, I remember that. I mean, but I thought that was the whole point.
No, but that's my point though. It's like that's all it was. Is like
But I knew that though. He sat down and he was literally talking about like they made a little bit of a bit about him being tired on press. But I'm like, yeah, he's here to promote. Go ahead and promote the thing. I was literally waiting for it to happen.
that's what I mean though.
That's
That's what I mean though. I like that. That made it worse for me. That because like it feels like Seinfeld's better than that.
It's not
because it's so lazy.
Yeah, it's pretty lazy.
Like, I would have understood if SNL was behind this film or something, right?
Right.
Now, there's a lot of SNL characters or cast members, former cast members that are in this film, but it just confused me why this happened.
Like Lauren's looking like a rising tide raises all ships. So there's a lot of our alumni in this. Let's get him.
But I'm looking. I genuinely am looking at IMDb right now, thinking maybe Lauren Michaels is a producer of this film, and he's not.
Or Jerry's a friend of the show. He wanted to stop by as a personal favor. He wants to make sure it's.
Is he a friend of the show?
I mean, sure.
Yeah, of course he is. He's
NBC royalty.
yeah.
I
It's
know, but has he been on the show a ton of times? Because I don't remember a ton of Jerry Seinfeld episodes.
I couldn't answer that question.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like he's like royalty of SNL. He's done two. He's hosted twice, one in 1998 and one in 1999. So it's not like I connect Jerry Seinfeld with SNL or Lauren Michaels.
I
No,
just
but
connect him as a billionaire, rich white.
Yeah,
comedian.
so
they all know each other.
like Seinfeld is like a contemporary of the
New York,
institution
in
of
New
Saturday
York
Night Live, New York,
particularly.
NBC. I mean,
Yeah.
But again, I don't know. It just felt weird to me. Like, it just felt, the whole thing
Oh
felt
yeah,
weird.
it was just it's a lazy pitch, stupid bit that he wanted to stop by and promote his movie, and I didn't need it.
yeah, I didn't need it at all.
And especially when you have the opportunity that he had to go on national television, and he's kind of had a mini controversy about
his woke,
about the wokeness or whatever. And if he really had something to say to set the record straight, he could.
There's so much comedy that could be had there,
or have comedy out of it. But again, he thinks he's definitely of the opinion I'm not going to even respond to that because
no, of course,
it doesn't hurt. I can only hurt my brand here.
You could have pulled it like a Bill Burr, right?
Yes,
who threads that
if
and
he
he
was
goes
as good
so
as a
well.
comedian, sure.
Like if you do you like Bill? Do you think Bill Burr is a better comedian than Jerry Seinfeld?
Now, yes. Jerry Seinfeld had his heyday for sure.
Do you think Bill Burr is better than Jerry Seinfeld was?
I just don't understand this now constant sucking of Jerry Seinfeld's dick. When he was on the show and he was writing with Larry David and he was doing stand up, he was at this height. Yes, he was very observational. It hadn't been done before. Blah 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 blah. The same observational humor now though it definitely is just easy comedy, and he was the pioneer of it, but he never, in my opinion, he never grew as a comedian. He's still all doing the same and it's hack now because but then to be as pretentious as you can't make those jokes anymore. Fuck you, man. Like, I don't respect that.
Really? Because we've had just
Seinfeld's not exactly one known for his comedic edginess.
Exactly.
And do you not remember Shane Gillis hosting 5 episodes ago?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. It's he's just dumb now. Hey,
Jerry, let me introduce you to Rick and Morty.
Yeah. How old is Larry David?
Ancient.
But I feel like he gets it more than Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, he does. And I also think
every year that went by and every new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm proved that Larry David was the one that made Seinfeld great.
I feel like people have realized that actually the secret behind Seinfeld certainly had a great cast, but was the writing of
it's the writing.
And the ideas.
And where's the writing coming from?
Larry David.
Coming from Larry David.
Yeah.
And Seinfeld being as a comedian, I think that.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know.
Jason Alexander talks about Larry David talking about stories of his own life, and Jason Alexander realizing that he is just playing Larry David.
Right.
These are all real things that Larry David had lived through. So
I know we can cut this if it goes too long, but the whole comedians and getting a coffee with Jerry Seinfeld thing, I like those stories from the other comedians, but for some reason everybody is walking on this hollow ground Seinfeld, man, he writes every day, and it's but to produce, he's as funny as Jeff Foxworthy. It's just that back then he had a writer like Larry David. They're the same level of comedian, making the hacky jokes, but because he had one sitcom that was so powerful because of the writing, he now gets to lord over what is funny, and it's not fair.
Yeah, and because what has Seinfeld done really? I don't know.
B-movie, man.
Did you see Unfrosted yet?
Yeah, I did.
Was it good?
It's fine. It is a harmless comedy that is very silly. I feel like it tries to hit every kind of comedy, which sometimes works in its favor. Other times it lets jokes just kind of fall flat. It is.
Yeah, I had a friend that's probably pushing 70 now that loved it. He thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There you go. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. It's a comedy that's made to hit right in that sweet spot of people who don't want something that feels super inappropriate, but something that is a little bit silly and has a ton of people that you recognize.
Yeah. Safe.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld is safe.
Very safe. Absolutely. And he's not a very good director.
Which is odd to complain about wokeness because you're safe as a comedian.
Oh, and the other guy that's really old that is the anti-Larry David now. What happened to fucking John Cleese?
Oh, he's been off the deep end for a while.
I think it's been a while.
I'm so sorry. I'm new to the game here. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on.
All right, moving on. OBGYN, written by Alex English, Michael Che, Rosebud Baker, and Megan Callahan Shaw. Soon-to-be parents Ega Wodum and Mikey Day visit a new OBGYN for the first time, played by Kenan Thompson. Brad, we'll start with you. What did you think of this?
So this was kind of similar to The Anomalous Man, a sketch that had a slight longer lead into it until it got to the really funny stuff. And then when it got to the really funny stuff, it got really funny.
Yeah, this was great.
So there was a decent amount of escalation here that I really appreciated.
Yep.
Especially because it was different kinds of jokes. Coming in with the stained doctor's uniform is a good one to hit off with, and then doing the battering of the ultrasound sound jelly.
So that's the escalation. I'm going, okay, I see where they're going with
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
Right?
And then just the finger.
The tongs were just
Yeah.
fucking amazing.
That was good. And of course the finger licking.
Oh god, it doesn't get any better than that.
No, it was.
That's the height.
Yeah, it sent it overboard. It was very, very funny.
And then I'm sorry, it gets even funnier because he's like, your pH balance is off
Yeah.
as well. I was dying.
it is standard gross out humor, and
Yeah.
it totally
Oh,
worked
it
for
works.
me.
Nate,
It goes to show you though that Dua Lipa wasn't needed in this episode.
no, I mean like this sketch was definitely not about the host. I forgot she was even in it. Right?
Well, the funny thing is after she was gone, I was like, is that all they're gonna let her do?
Yeah,
because everyone was like, we got this.
Yeah.
This is a really good one. We just don't want you to fuck it up. You know. Punky Johnson coming in at the end.
Yeah,
had
just
me.
lost it, yeah.
And did you see that
Tearing
she
the
was-
brown paper.
She was writing like
nonsense.
No, she was writing the like it was like, what did he say, paprika? So she wrote PK.
Oh.
And so if you go back, she does the first and last letter of or the
that's
first
funny.
letter.
I didn't realize that.
She was doing it, and then right at the end it was is Pepsi okay, and that's when she ripped it. It was so funny. Just every part that was added to this was better. And Ego broke ever so slightly, and then Mikey had to wait to deliver because he was, breaking a little bit. Like it was. Oh, I really like this sketch. This is my sketch of the night. Sorry, boys.
How about you, Nate?
Spoiler.
No, I thought it was very good. I thought this was
Okay, well,
this was fun.
was
I had fun. I had fun watching.
You don't sound
was
as excited about it.
It wasn't. It was fine.
Was it finger licking good?
I feel like this sketch was funnier because this episode wasn't great. I'll say that. I felt like this sketch on the Kristen Wiig episode wouldn't have been as funny.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment because I do think that this is one of the better sketches of the evening of when the evening was pretty much full of right down the middle sketches.
That's what I'm saying.
I disagree.
It was a good mediocre sketch.
I disagree because if you sat through an hour of comedy that was just mediocre and then finally something funny happens, a lot of times it's not going to hit as funny because you're not even in the mood to laugh right now. I think in a better episode this would have been even funnier.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'm already in the mood to laugh. I'm going to have a good time. The sketches, and now I'm laughing.
Or we've been not laughing that hard,
And it's nice to have something that feels
we
like a
finally
hearty
had
laugh.
they finally found something. This is good.
I think it's hard for me because I start that sketch and I'm already like, that's not gonna, because the whole episode hasn't been good.
Yeah.
So it's harder for that sketch to make me laugh. But this did it.
It was a good sketch. I will say that.
Good.
Teeny tiny statement pin written by Celeste Yeam, Allison Gates, and Martin Herlihy. A commercial advertises a product that allows celebrities to make smaller statements on complicated issues while on the red carpet. Now, Ben, if you were wearing a pin for a statement that you wanted to make, what would that pin be?
His wiener.
What?
Teeny tiny.
This was a question for Ben.
Wow. It's coming up firing, are you? It was the question for me. Stop. You were going to talk. Stop. My statement would be,
It's like a Miss America.
Be nice.
Aww.
Just be fucking nice. That's what it would be. Fucking nice.
Brad, what would yours be?
Stay hard.
Stay hard, king.
Yeah.
Stay hard, king.
Well, you, Nate.
What would you be?
Mine would probably be live, laugh, love.
Mine would be gather.
Gather. All right, what did you guys think of this?
So I forgot that the sketch existed until you brought it up just now. Honestly, it feels like a sketch that like they had sitting on a shelf for a while and they were like waiting for somebody who had like the right kind of just like paste in like celebrity.
Do you ever
celebrity
wonder
presence.
if they have some sketches where like they're fine sketches, but there's going to be nights where we need an extra 5 minutes?
Right. That's what this felt like, and it was just very slight, very easy, very forgettable, just fine.
This is gonna sound like I'm doing a bit, and I'm not. What sketch is it again? I'm not joking.
It's,
Teeny tiny statement. pin.
Oh yeah, the pin thing. Yeah,
Jesus Christ!
I'm not even joking. I
This
totally
fucking
forgot.
guy over here.
No. It was very forgettable. Obviously, it's just again. If Brad's
Also, like-
describing this as a down the middle episode, this is the most down the middle.
It wasn't even down the
pre-taping.
middle. It was not good. Like it just wasn't.
No,
good.
I don't think it was bad.
I think it was bad because it wasn't. It was too down the middle.
Yeah, it
Did
didn't-
you
it
laugh at any point in this?
It didn't. No, that's the thing. Like that's what makes me say like this entire episode feels like just a straight down the middle where it's like
I didn't laugh once, but it wasn't all bad.
no, just
It's
like
his view of Dua Lipa.
it's like
is
you're no, it's like
clouding this.
it's like
Yes.
mildly
Skewed.
chuckling at things like it's somewhat
I wasn't
amusing.
even chuckling at this.
Well, you don't support causes, so.
No, but it was like, well, how dumb is this? Like, this is just not good.
I think the thing I would say about this is like, this is a very easy thing to do.
Yeah.
It's very easy, and they didn't do anything with it other than
Like
Exactly.
at least the penne alla vodka, they took something that like is all of us have at least recognized at one point. They have a simple dish at often weddings and things like this that you go to, and we all think the same thing. This is fine. Right? Like, at least they took a concept that we all have experienced. This just wasn't good.
I really would have.
I just don't think there's anything particularly sharp about this one. Like, it's an okay thing to mock because it's essentially the idea of how silly it is that like celebrities somehow think like the pins on there like are very important.
but it
representing
also
their
doesn't
causes.
bother me though that you wear a pin.
No,
Like,
sure. That's not the point though. It's just kind of mocking that idea by like, point like, oh, here you can wear an even smaller one because like it's just as inconsequential,
And I get that's the
Right,
satire bit.
yeah.
I would have loved a QVC version of this,
Sure.
where they did that plus like other things like, and you order now and you get a thoughts and prayers bumper sticker or whatever.
Right.
Like you can do so many different things with
Yeah.
with the the monetization,
making
merchant
fun of
services
the
that.
socially aware celebrity kind of
Exactly.
like idea.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something to parody there.
Yeah, but this was just a very lazy way of doing it.
All right, we're moving on. Jingle Pitch 2. This is a recurring sketch now. Business executives Dua Lipa and Bowen Yang enlist help from a local band played by Andrew Dismukes and James Austin Johnson to come up with a catchy jingle for their flooring business. Ben, let's start with you. Did you like this as well as you did the first?
No, this first one was awesome, and this one was okay. I like the
Was it
passion.
magic in a bottle?
I like the passion that they bring to the characters. I think it's commendable. They're trying their best, but I knew what was coming this time, and so it wasn't as.
Is it hard to not think about the Lonely Island guys when you?
I mean, sometimes, but this wasn't one of those times though. Like Tim Robinson and Jason Sudeikis doing basketball.
Yeah.
That sketch is funny. Obviously, because now I know Tim Robinson was behind that a lot, but that sketch to me was very funny, and it was a memorable jingle. Right? These are not meant to be the exact same thing, but it's kind of in that same genre.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know if this is repeatable.
Yeah, it was repeatable in the sense that I was still entertained by Dismukes and James Austin Johnson together. I was also again amused by how worked up Bowen Yang gets talking about getting dacked at luches.
Yeah, I will say
the way he says all those things so emphatically, and also
you just need to get decked down.
the one thing that did improve from the previous version, I think, is Dua Lipa, because she's better than Jenna Ortega in this sketch. She was funnier. The fact that she did that like New York accent added a lot to it.
Fran Drescher.
Yeah, and then joining in and getting in on the song at the end too. I felt like that worked. But overall, I do think the first time was just a better execution of it.
Going back to the sketch in the booth where DJ whatever his name is, Spicy,
King Spicy, Young Spicy.
Yeah, Young Spicy. Who was the actress that did it the first time?
Jenna Ortega.
Was it Jenna Ortega?
Was Jenna Ortega the first time? No, it's for Young Spicy, the rapper.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I remember they could.
Ana de Armas did it, didn't she?
Oh yeah,
because we were impressed by her.
It's Ana de Armas. Yeah.
Being able to stutter like that.
Yeah.
And I knew that Dua Lipa was going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they've had other females on, and they're like, "Can you do the thing?" And they try, and they just can't do that part of it, so they can't do the bit. I wonder. That's funny.
But to tie back to that though is the one thing that I felt like lessened it is that I wish they would have come up with another catchy way of doing the phone number, because otherwise by the very end they're doing the same melody.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering if they were going to reach a different one. Even though it is catchy, I feel like you need to change it up every time for that last one to make it work. Because otherwise you know what the exact punchline is every single time.
All right, that is your episode. There were no extra sketches on the YouTube channel or anything, so we're going to pick our MVP of the night first before we do sketch of the night. And I'm going to say this is controversial. I know Brad's going to be mad at me. Ben, you'll probably accept it. I'm giving nobody the MVP because I didn't think anybody was exceptional.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. That's upsetting.
That's kind of just bullshit.
I just think it was
sounds
great.
like a cop out to me.
Yeah, it sounds...
No.
Being honest.
I'm anxious to hear who you think was the MVP.
Kenan Thompson.
Devin Walker.
Why Devin?
I just
He was in two.
he was in 3 things, and I really like that spicy character. I really do like him. I think he's great. I want to see more of him.
No, I'm not giving anybody. Why did you pick Keenan?
He was very good in the cold open and the OBGYN sketch. I felt like those deserved it.
That was enough for you.
Yeah. On a night where there wasn't like a particularly great standout sketch.
So you pick Keenan for the 57th time. Why not give my boy Devin Walker some love?
I don't know, because like he was in a lot of sketches, but he wasn't necessarily like always hilarious.
Ding, 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 ding. I'm changing my opinion. I'm going with Devin Walker.
That's fine.
Thanks, Nate.
You go with whoever you want to go with, and go with God.
All right, let's go with
And go with God.
sketch of the night. We'll start with you, Brad.
For me, I went with Jingle Pitch too.
Did you really?
Yeah, just slightly over OBGYN.
Oh, OBGYN all day.
It's no.
Come on.
Hilarious. I felt like the first half could have been stronger. And I just like the characters that James Dawson Johnson and Andrew Dismukes play, and the pacing
Nate.
of the sketch still worked for me. So that was my favorite. Other than that,
I want to go on record and saying this was not a good episode, and so I'm going to go with.
I don't think it was a bad episode.
Penny a la vodka. I thought was funny.
Wow.
Only because it hit me.
Okay.
where I'm
No,
at.
you know what? I take that back. I'm so sorry. You deserve that.
If there's a gutter sketch,
Yeah, exactly. I get it. If there's a seamless gutter sketch, which, if you're listening, any writer, I'll buy you something nice.
Or if there's a sketch about hemorrhoids.
Well, that would work too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anal fissures.
I will give you.
yeah.
that.
So that was funny, but I didn't think it was a great sketch. It's not that I'm going to rewatch that sketch. I thought it was a bad episode. It wasn't good.
I do agree, though, Brad. If you are forced to pick the actual MVP of the thing, Keenan's OBGYN and the college football dad, and you know he does elevate stuff.
But it takes a lot for me to give Keenan the MVP because he's
Like I said, I gave it to him because it was a night when there wasn't really anyone else standing out or any like particularly great sketch.
because ergo it was a bad night.
No, I don't think it was a bad night. I think it was just like I said.
bad night.
I've said throughout the entire
We say it's
episode.
at least a pretty bad night.
I would say throughout the entire episode, it's a very middling, down the road episode.
And you've been wrong this
I
whole
think
time.
it's painfully average.
Which is
No, it
bad.
wasn't average.
Painfully average is not average, Brad. It's painfully average, which is bad.
But so not all pain is bad.
Did you think this was?
God.
You know that because you're a kinky bitch.
Did you think this was better than the Kristen Wiig episode?
No.
Of course it wasn't, because Kristen Wiig was awesome. So you get to this.
That's
episode.
like, you think this is better than the Ryan Gosling episode?
It's-
No, of course not, because it was awesome.
And I think Dave was like, gotcha.
Yeah, I know, right?
Bam.
Yeah, you've been loused. Do you guys think they suffer when they take 2 weeks off? Because the past couple times they've taken a couple weeks off, it's been rough.
I think it depends. Part of me thinks that it's because they're getting towards the end of the season.
Part of me thinks it's because they're still trying to figure out, should we use that story from last week? This, because
Yeah.
it's 2 weeks.
Well, plus Jost was busy this week because of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So.
That's very true. And Mikey Day was at
Fall Guy.
Fall Guy premiere.
Yeah.
So there,
So maybe that's what threw it off.
yeah, could have been.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
What was the last time we did when there was a break, buddy?
So here's the most recent episodes of that break. Shane Gillis episode. I thought that was a decent
That was
episode.
decent.
And then Rami Youssef.
Yeah.
He was okay.
Yeah.
I'm 1 for 2. Anyway.
Let me go back to also Jacob Elordi.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
rough
it was a
one.
rough one, but I don't know what that had to do with the sketch writing.
And then
easy Orson Welles.
Emma Stone.
that was a good one.
All right. Well, yeah. Again, I'm 2 for 4. So my
50% from the field.
And then before that,
batting 500, motherfucker.
Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée.
So, sketch of the night, OBGYN. We've all agreed.
That's not what I said, but
Do we have a show next week?
we do. Maya Rudolph is coming back to host for her 3rd time.
Let's hope this is more Kristen Wiig than Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
Sure, but if Dua Lipa wants to show up, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Is there? No, I'm with you. But who is the musical?
It's
guest?
Dua Lipa.
I forget who the musical guest was actually, because it's not something I readily pay attention to.
I didn't know. I mean, sometimes you do, right? I mean, if it's Dua Lipa, you're going to
Sometimes I
Brad,
know just because I've heard this
what-
time I forgot.
What does Maya Rudolph have coming out?
Oh, it's Vampire Weekend. I love Vampire Weekend.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Maya Rudolph has the second season of her Apple TV Plus show Loot. I think it's
Gotcha.
just now hitting. So
Okay, we sometimes ask this question when SNL characters are coming back.
Yeah, what
do you want to see? Is there any characters you want to see? What is Maya? I mean, I feel like Maya is
she was.
royalty.
I think she was most famous for doing a lot of like relevant impressions. At the
Beyonce.
time. Yeah.
is the one that's like sticks out in my brain.
Celine Dion, right? Didn't she do Celine?
Beyonce
No,
on
am I thinking
Hot
of-
Ones is just
Oh yeah, Beyonce and Hot Ones is hilarious.
which she did for. Did she? No, was Beyonce on Hot Ones an SNL sketch, or did she do that on her show?
The sketch show that she did with Martin Short? Or?
No. Like was she? Because she plays on her show. She plays like a diva, right? Like a character that is like Beyonce, that is older, more like Mariah Carey, I think.
Are you talking about
Loot.
Up All Night?
No, he's talking about the character on Loot.
Right, Loot.
I thought Loot isn't about
She's
where
rich.
Yeah, but she's not like
And
a
divorced.
Is she a diva though? I don't know.
I don't know,
No,
but
I thought she was divorced.
When you say diva, do you mean a singer or like a diva
I don't know.
personality?
I don't know how she got famous, but she's famous, and she is that where she goes on Hot Ones
Yes.
in that show.
Yes,
it wasn't an SNL show, or it wasn't an SNL.
No, shit, man. I think they both did.
It isn't. No, I just looked it up. Loot. Molly Wells on Hot Ones.
Yes.
So that is. So I'm thinking she played.
But didn't she play Beyonce on SNL that was on Hot Ones? Or am I just insane?
I feel like there's
this is a embarrassing
I'm
for me.
doing that. I'm gonna look. I don't
yeah,
care.
this is a Mandela effect thing here happening.
Oh, listeners, we don't know what we're doing. But I do feel like she did a Beyonce on Hot Ones. But
Yeah, Hot Ones with Beyonce, SNL.
Maya Rudolph?
Yes,
Nice. Okay, there you
featuring
go.
Maya Rudolph.
That's why I did feel
Okay,
familiar.
like-
Okay, I'm not insane. Those both happened. Jesus. I felt the need to get that out there because I'm like, I remember this. I'm not going insane.
Okay, yeah. So in 2021, she hosted and she did that. So you're
Jesus.
What were some of the other famous characters she's played? Did you-
I'm looking through some of these and I don't recognize.
I mean, she plays Kamala Harris.
One of my favorite throwaway ones was the ones that when Maya Rudolph and Fred Armisen played like the weird artsy couple who always had like a
Oh yeah,
terrible chairs.
It's pronounced Far.
What's your name? Jeff. Oh,
Jarf.
Jarv.
Yeah,
Jarv.
it wasn't enough to be like, let's have that.
Come and sit down, Jarv.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
Jarf and Parf and Marf.
Yeah,
Do you think she'll do a Kamala Harris?
Yeah, of course.
that would make sense.
She would have. It might open the show.
But I also don't know like what you do with her right now, since like it's not like there's been anything big happening with her that would.
I don't think you even need that. You can just talk about like you could do an entire opening sketch about what she's going to do when Joe dies and she gets to be the first female black president.
I would just rather they do something that's not like that.
But they're going to have to. So that's what I'm going to get.
Hey.
That's my Babe Ruthing it. I'm calling it. That's what the sketch is going to be.
I think it depends on what happens in the next week.
Okay. Nate, do you have an opinion?
Oh, that's tough. I don't think she'll do the Kamala Harris.
You don't think so at all?
No.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that would be that's what they call a long shot bet.
I you know what I think would be fun is if her and Amy Poehler did another
Weekend update.
Bronx Talk. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think any
Bronx Beat.
former
Bronx
cast members are going to come back?
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
I always hope so. I hope Fred Armisen. I hope,
Kristen
Will
Wiig,
Forte?
Cherry O'Terry.
Will Forte?
Of course. man.
Jerry Minor.
All right. Well, that's all we have for you tonight. It was a long episode, but I'm so grateful that you listened. We will be back next week for a new episode. Brad, you are online. You've made it to the internet,
Yes.
to the World Wide Web now.
Yes, I often type.
Where can people find you?
You can find me typing away at slashfilm.com. You can check out full reviews that I do of every new episode of SNL the morning after on slashfilm.com. And it's just a real treat for you to just read it, whether you're taking
The morning after. The way you said it sounds like a morning show. Like, welcome to the morning after.
Whether you're taking a crap or having a nice bowl of cereal, you can just read my SNL review. But it comes in the afternoon, so maybe you might already be over that point of your day.
Oh my God.
I'm also on Twitter at Ethan_Anderton.
Slashow's losing page views as we speak.
Tell me about it.
All right. Ben,
Nate
where
and
can people find you?
We're online, buddy. It's
I mean,
fine.
if you know our names, you can
Come
find us.
on,
We're
you know.
there.
A
Just
Full
come on.
Tilt, Northwest Indiana's destination for fun. Full Tilt arcade. and
But
pinball.
we have a lot of fun.
Come
at
on
the Full
out.
Tilt.
We like to
Come
have
on.
fun.
All right, everyone. We'll be back next week. Again, go to our website,
What's that website, Nate?
the 10 to 1.com. the 10 to 1.com.
The10to1.com. The10to1.com.
Listen to our other podcast, Go Flix Yourself. You can find us at goflixyourselfpod.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Hey, thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Bye-bye.